What was something you wanted to be when you were a kid that you thought, and why would you want to be that?
And actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a CEO.
Wow! All right, right to the top.
Right, CEO, and then I wanted to be a meteorologist.
Oh, cool.
Right, I remember being in like 6th, 7th grade. I had a science teacher, and he made it seem so cool. It was so awesome, and it was so easy for me to grasp.
Okay.
And so for a hot minute, I wanted to be a meteorologist.
Okay. High pressure, low pressure.
High pressure, low pressure. I can be wrong 100% and still be good at my job.
Yes, no joke. Yeah, yes. Just like the prognosticators for sports too. The next day they're like, "Oh, I knew this was going to happen."
Right.
Like, no,
right.
shut
Right.
up.
Right.
You're not as smart as you think you are. So, what would you say? So it sounds like you've had a pretty good life so far. Lived a different life. Briefly, from what we've heard, what would you say is your life's motto? What's something you live by?
Treat others as you want to be treated.
Golden rule.
And it's harder to live by
than
very said. And also, get back up.
There you go. Get off the mat, huh?
Back up. Everyone's going to knock you down. It's never about how many times you're knocked down. It's about getting back up.
Sure, certainly.
And I feel like that is something people underestimate me on.
Okay.
Is that I will get back up.
You can take a punch, but
I'll take the punch.
It's not the last punch.
It's not the last punch, and I will get back up, and I will find a way.
All right. That's outstanding. That's a good motto to live by.
Get back up, and
treat others
the way you want to be treated.
I'd say this will serve you well throughout life if you follow those two. So I just looking at your hair, I would say fun, crazy, willing to
adventurous.
Exactly. So I was just gonna say, would you choose a safe and boring life over an adventurous but risky?
Always risk. Always risk. There's so much more.
You don't just get the adventure.
You get the challenges, but through challenges, you learn so much more.
Yes.
I will also say one of my mottos is I'm okay with being wrong. Because when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm learning something.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And that's the biggest thing is that I'm okay. I don't need to be right 100% of the time. For sakes, I wish I'm not. I hope I'm not. Because
certainly.
As positive as I can be, I am as pessimistic as the next person sometimes. But you always prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, you got to plan for all those type of things. So you would choose adventurous, but
absolutely.
risky. I think
100%.
If you ask most people.
Not my husband. My husband would be like, nope, safe and boring.
Safe and boring. Let me wear these pleated khaki pants and some loafers. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I tell people, how would you explain your husband or describe your husband? I was like, khaki. Oh. And that's with a lot of love.
Oh, of course. But I think that's a lot of married couples. I think maybe when you first get married, it's the extreme. And then you each moderate to the middle. Because I think if people would see my wife and I, she's very just easygoing, straight and narrow. I'm kind of a wild hair goofball.
Absolutely.
But over time, she is loosened up like crazy and surprised the heck out of me. And I've realized, okay, I need to maybe pull in the bootstraps here a little bit and just act my age every now and again.
Every now and again.
And not very often, but I don't want to set that precedent that I'm acting my age.
No, never.
Exactly. Mm-mm. Well, cool. I agree with you on that. You only get one life.
Yep.
So there's risk even being safe and boring.
There's absolutely is. Life is not without risk.
No.
So you might as well go in it eyes wide open.
There you go. What do you think, Rex?
Eyes shut, so you don't know which wall you're barreling into?
Eyes wide open. Mistakes are good.
Yes. Mistakes are very good.
I don't know if that worm's going to be good or not.
That worm is going to be amazing.
I know, I can't wait.
Is there actually a worm in the bottom?
Yes,
Yeah,
we have
we
worms
put our
in
gummy
the.
worms in the tequila.
It's tequila and worms.
Yeah, we kind of are riffing here, Rex.
So
Come on, Rex,
I
you're
gotta
not
push
surprised,
the
are you, buddy?
envelope. I got one in here for you.
Rex is not surprised.
Rex does not do tequila.
He doesn't. But he's acting surprised, but he's not. Because all we do is just make stuff up on here and have a good time. So, what would you say is your biggest passion, Melinda? What's something that just drives you
To
up a wall to be
everything.
like, I gotta see this through. I wanna try
My
this.
family.
Okay.
Giving back.
They drive you up the wall.
They drive me up the wall,
Sure.
absolutely. But if they didn't drive me up the wall, I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't be living an adventurous
we
and
wouldn't.
risky life.
But this, people ask me, when I started my barber's license, I was older.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start my retirement career now, because it takes a while for a barber to build up their clientele, right?
Oh, I forgot I'm not going to eat these. I can't.
Yeah, I know. I want to
Yeah.
too. Anyhow,
I
so
can't resist.
we're all both put our hands down.
Sorry about
and people are like, well, "Why did you start your barber shop?" Well, because I want my husband to retire.
Okay, it's more.
He's been
certainly.
working so hard his whole life, and I don't feel like he gets enough credit that he's due. And my thing is, I want to build something that, one, I can walk away from and still make money.
Yeah, mailbox
And
money.
mailbox. Well, you still work.
No,
for
it's
it.
true, but you
But
don't go in to
but
get that.
I would love to be able to say, hey, I'm going to take a month off and go RVing with my
Certainly.
husband, or go out of the country with him, because he's worked so hard and diligent. He always keeps his head down.
Okay.
So so that's the big thing with me. Providing for my family and being someone they can count on.
It gets you up in the morning and keeps you
Yeah,
motivated.
absolutely. Keeps the juices running.
No. Hey, we gotta have that. You gotta have that thing that
Oops, here we
drives
go.
you.
All right, here we go.
We gotta. Keep on
All right,
rolling.
3.
3. That's good for me. 3 is good for me. See how that rhyme?
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 of those babies.
Okay.
What would you? I'm sure, like I said, I like already your story with your family and everything. So, and it sounds like you have some good values already. What would you want to be remembered, or how would you want to be remembered, Melinda? When when they're singing the songs at your funeral, what would you want a common story to be from people that are there?
A common aspect for me would be, she thought of everyone.
That would
before.
be the same refrain from everyone if you asked
Right.
them that question. Okay.
She thought of everyone before herself.
Okay.
And that, she was, selfless
Yes, self.
and helpful, and gave where she could, even when she shouldn't have.
Okay.
I don't want to be remembered for anything more than being to service to others.
Once again, very noble thing to live by. Have you read that book, The Go-Giver?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
It is good. It's so good.
And I will.
I had these aspirations even before, I think.
Okay,
just
sure.
because, going through my life, as many things as I've been through, it's always the people who didn't have anything that gave the most.
Yes.
And that's always resonated with me. Like, the people who have nothing give everything.
Isn't that is really, when you look at things a little closer, that.
And and maybe on the outside they might look like they have it together, but they really don't when you get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't let it shade them, or what's the word? What's the word where
I got this stuff in my glass.
Right.
I'm
So-
not going to be as much help as you think I would be.
So one crazy thing about me is I grew up deaf.
Oh, I was just going to say, what's something that's unique about you?
So here's the thing. I
would
grew up.
never, ever.
So I grew up very hard of hearing, deaf in my left ear, hard of hearing in my right. A speech pathologist my whole life.
Okay.
Learned how to talk by the speech pathologist understanding that I had a visual mind.
Okay.
which means that I can see things. You tell me something, I can see if a red apple, and I visualize a red apple
Okay.
in
It
my
comes
head.
out.
Right. In
okay.
my so the thing is, write the sentence in your head,
Okay.
read it aloud.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So that's how I learned how to speak. I also grew up with epilepsy,
wow.
and I would have probably 20 to 30 seizures a day. Not the kind where you're flaying on the ground.
Yeah, but still, that's.
But most people would describe me as younger years as not present because of
Okay.
it. But because of all that, I grew up not remembering a whole heck of a lot of my childhood because
Okay.
of all the medications.
Oh.
But the things that I do remember are very present and very solidified. But recently, in the last 4 years, I started getting my hearing fixed. I have conductive hearing loss, and so they were able.
What did you say? Conductive.
Mm-hmm.
And what
It's
is
where the bones. There's an overgrowth of bone over
Okay.
your stapy bone.
that? Okay.
So think of a drum and the skin on a drum. You smack it with the stick, it reverberates.
Yes.
Now put your hand on that same skin and hit it the same way
Thump.
with thump. There's a whole lot less vibration.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So same thing with my eardrum. There's no vibration getting to the eardrum. So what they do is they go in, they clean out all that bone
Wow.
overgrowth, and they put in a titanium prosthetic.
Okay.
And they've done that in both ears.
Oh wow.
So now I hear everything.
Was that just crazy when you were?
It was. I've had to go back to a speech pathologist to learn how to hear and speak again. Because,
Really?
yeah.
Almost overstimulated.
Very much overstimulated. That's
Okay.
why when you see me here and there's a whole bunch of people here, I look like I'm struggling.
So you're like a superhero when you're
Yeah.
hearing everyone's thoughts.
You can't.
You're like
yeah.
Bruce Almighty. You hear everyone's
Right.
voices.
I hear behind me for the first time in
Okay.
46 years, and
Wow.
that is so daunting. It's so off-putting. So I can hear Dwayne behind me
Really?
right now. I can't.
I'd say your hearing's better than mine then because I can barely hear him.
Well, but it's behind me.
Okay.
And so that's the big thing. You could bang a pot and pan behind my head, and I wouldn't have been able to hear you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So yeah, the doctors at Scott and White did a very good job.
What a cool thing to have that restored.
So yeah, I grew
Restored
up.
fully because you kind of.
Yeah.
So you were clinically deaf till then.
So yeah, in one ear, and so I gained probably 60 decimals in my left ear and 80 decimals in my right.
When you
Or
had
no,
the
that's
surgery?
switched. So yeah, so it's
Okay.
80 decimals in my left and 60 decimals in my right is what I
Okay.
gained when I had surgeries, and they were done at separate times.
So I have a question for you on that then, because, like I said, you got some rock and roll to you, which is outstanding and cool. How did you listen to like music and things like that, or
So
how did you how did you experience music more?
So it was like after hearing music with my hearing, apparently it was a lot more monotone than what it is now. I listen to music that I've been listening to my whole life, and there's so many more layers to it
Sure.
that I never realized.
Okay.
So let's take into account that one, I wasn't completely deaf in my right ear. I could hear.
Okay.
The music was always really loud.
Oh, was it like tinny and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff?
So
too?
no, I would have to turn it up
Oh,
to hear.
way loud, and everyone else would be like, "What's
And
that?"
different tones and different vibrations you could hear better than others.
Sure.
So yeah, but learning, I've learned that my music hasn't been my music, and so I get to relive and they become new to me now. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, like what's this 80s stuff?
I was like, what is that? What is that extra
What's this-
thing in the background?
What's
of
this
that?
White Snake? These guys are outstanding.
No, I love Whitesnake.
Why is it? What's the one song that is it? Here I Go? No, that wasn't that song.
Here I go.
Here I
Here
Go
I
Again.
Go
So it is
Again.
Here I Go. Oh, I
Mhm.
love that song.
Yeah.
They had a couple other ones, but I mean that's just quintessential 80s right
All
there.
right, you ready? Here we
Yes.
go. All right, 6.
6 is rolling or we're racing, and then
Okay.
then I'll roll.
Okay.
What are you a quote person? Do you have like if someone were to, I know you said a motto, but how about like a quote? Like what would like a favorite quote you have?
I don't really have a quote. because I think quotes are fun,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But when it comes to, I don't know,
Let's say saying quote, I guess.
a saying quote, with me, it would be like, come and find out. I mean, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm an outgoing person if I know you.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have any real quotes that stick out other than, my employees would probably have some different views on that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, right.
But yeah.
We're
not going to do that.
You busted my balls.
No, I do. You know what? I have a saying. I do not like you being late for work.
Okay, well,
cannot do that. All right, 7's up there.
Yeah, it's a month. This pot's already getting lodged.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been? Let's start with this. How long have you been a barber? Because it's so kind of.
So about 5 years.
Okay, so you've had multiple jobs throughout your life.
Yeah. So.
What has been your favorite job that you've ever done, other than
what I do now?
Yes.
Probably actually working with my dad in plumbing.
Okay.
So I
Cleaning
used
out.
to. No, actually, we used to do water heater and boiler repair.
Oh,
both
yeah,
commercial
that's a lot
and,
cleaner. Well,
right, it is a lot cleaner. Residential, commercial. We had it in Austin before the factories changed their parameter settings on who you could see. And so I ran a truck and I loved it. I was a single mom of 2. I had a son that was like 2 years old and my daughter who was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And I made so much money.
Yeah. Plumbers.
And then they changed their parameters and there it went bye-bye. But I loved that job because I got to go to see other people. I wasn't stuck in the office. Mind you, I did office work as well. You did a lot of warranty paperwork.
Yeah.
And inventory, and we had like I think 12 trucks and 3 different metroplexes. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I liked that. That was a lot of fun, and if we had been able to stick with that, I would have.
Okay. Well, that's. Did you ever hear that? This is the one lesson I've always remember about someone telling me about plumbing. All rolls downhill.
Yes, it does.
So as long as you know that's all right, it all rolls downhill. So metaphor for life.
Yes.
As well, but you heard that one on the job every now and again.
All the time, every day.
How about was there some good plumbers' butts on the jobs?
Plumber crack?
Plumber crack?
No. Never.
Yeah, no one ever.
No, never.
I was going to say a joke there, but I'm not going to say a joke because.
Mind you, I worked with my dad 90% of the time, so I don't want to see that crack.
That's true. That's true. Although every now and again, if you saw that, just see if you can drop a quarter in that thing or something like that. So it's you said your husband has traveled or been around the world quite a bit.
He has.
If you could live anywhere other than, let's say, it sounds like you. Are you from Texas?
I am from Texas.
If you could live anywhere other than Texas, where would it be?
As long as there was sand and water.
Oh yeah, beach girl.
I'm a beach girl.
I agree with you.
Some of the mountains are awesome too. So if it was an area where there was mountains and beach, I'd be amazing. And a couple breweries. Distilleries and breweries.
Well, don't they have? I know, like Spain and stuff has sand and mountains, and you have wine, not so much beer.
So I know you'll ask the question, "Where's your favorite place you've been?" Right?
Sure, why not? Why don't you just exactly?
So Lebanon.
Really? You like
yeah.
Lebanese
So I
food?
got to go to Lebanon when my husband was out there for a year.
Okay.
And the country is so beautiful, and if you stayed in the right neighborhoods, you were fine.
Sure. When there's not rockets and stuff flying around, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, everywhere though. Stay in the right neighborhoods and you're fine.
Yeah.
That's
really
true too. That is very true, Reximus.
The water was like turquoise blue, and we were on the Venetian Wall, and it was so beautiful.
And why were you there, or what was it when you were there?
So he was working with BAE.
Okay.
And he was training the LAF on Bradleys.
Okay.
So he's a master gunner on Bradleys. So he was out there teaching them how to use them, and he was out there for a year. So I got to go out.
Oh, all
But
right.
they have the best wineries and the best alcohol out there. They're
Really?
so good.
No,
yes.
I don't. I know because that's a predominantly Muslim nation.
No,
They're not.
it's like 43% Christian, actually.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
And they probably have. Is there a little bit of Jewish?
There's a lot of everything.
And
I
they
walked
like wine.
around in shorts and tank tops, and
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't too bad where we were.
Okay. A little more modern.
Yeah, a little, not modernized, but more modern thinking.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, got you.
But it was beautiful out there. It was absolutely gorgeous.
That is really cool.
And we got to go see a lot of biblical, like, sites. And
Yeah.
that was so cool.
Yeah, seeing actually how.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I mean, people think like, oh, American history. Like American history is like
so
is
basic.
like an infant.
It's so
Nothing-
basic.
Yes. So yes, world history and other countries.
It really
yes.
is. It was awesome. I loved going out to it and learning. And
You're already
and-
gonna eat one?
Yes, I'm going to eat one. 'Cause I'm at the end of my.
Oh, you got it. All right.
What she's saying is put a nipple on yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Bourbon.
I know we do need to start the bourbon. We'll wait till Dwayne comes back.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay. Now you got me intrigued, so I'm gonna eat it here very shortly.
Yep.
So you obviously own a business, and we'll get to that further. Probably occupies quite a bit of your time. Kids, husband, all that requires time, and for good reason. But when you're not doing any of that, when you're not working, what is something that it just helps you relax? A hobby, something like that.
So, anything with my friends, it ranges really from camping and going out to the lake or to the beach to playing deck building games.
What do you mean by deck building games?
DC deck building games.
What?
Yes.
What do you mean? Is this what? This is like.
This is a whole nother episode.
Are you talking like Magic the Gathering, stuff like that?
No, I'm talking about DC. Like
Oh, I
DC.
thought you meant like wood decks.
No.
Oh, see,
I'm
I'm
like
so-
talking like
Deck building.
It's I don't know how to explain it, but I love to play them because you can get drunk and stupid with your friends for a couple of hours while
Alright.
you yell and scream at each other for what they're doing wrong in the game.
Okay.
So it's amazing.
Did you roll that, or was that my roll?
That was my roll.
Okay, and you had an 8?
Yeah, we had.
Oh, you had a court. Okay. Deck building. I've never heard
So
of that.
it's a lot of fun, and there's so much to it.
That would be a 9.
It's a little.
Okay.
I don't have a 9.
I have a 9, but
Okay.
yeah, you don't have to worry. You only pay on your rolls
Oh,
or
okay.
moving forward. How we doing, Reximus? Keep her moving.
One more question.
Okay, this is a good one.
Okay.
Are you a movie person?
Yes.
Okay, so we were probably similar in age.
Mm-hmm.
So we've grown up with the golden, in my opinion. I know the 50s has had some good movies. I think movies aren't. They look cooler now, but the stories are. Anyway,
There has not been an original movie in so long.
it's probably true. Do you have a favorite movie that you like to quote? Are you a movie quote person? Like, do you,
No, not
not
really.
so much, huh?
No, because
How about
I'm
a favorite
really.
movie? What's a favorite movie of yours?
And you'll think I'm crazy, but Battleship.
Oh, which I liked Battleship.
So my son loves Battleship.
I liked when the old timers at the end are like,
Yes.
"Let us take over!" Bang, 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 bang. That
Yes,
was so
I
cool.
know. I like
They had some
Battleship.
ACDC
Yes.
playing. Like, yeah, absolutely.
And you know the amputees just kicking ass.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, is that what an MBT is? I don't know what an MBT is.
No, the amputee, the gentleman
Oh,
who has
yes. Yeah,
on
they're
the
all
island,
crotchety
right?
looking and
Yes.
just hardcore. Yeah, I agree. I like that movie.
That was a good
more
movie.
than probably other people did.
I
I don't know. I like the director of that movie.
Yeah, my favorite director would probably be Clint Eastwood, though.
Oh yeah, you can't beat Clint. He
Can't
doesn't
beat
varnish anything.
No,
which
he
is what-
doesn't.
That movie, I loved. What was the one where he? Well, what was the one when he was a crotchety old guy? Isn't that like all his movies? The one where he had the car. It was filmed in like he tried to help. He kind of helped that Asian young man out. The car one, he drove a car. Oh shoot!
I don't know.
And then they.
I've had too much of this.
Reximus, you remember that one, buddy?
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, the one where he
With
was
the car.
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Yes,
I
okay.
loved that movie. I could not stop watching it. I'm like,
9.
yes. So I don't remember any movie. Well, Clint Eastwood, make my day.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever feel like you want to say that to people? Make my day.
Make my day.
All right. What did you roll?
A 9.
9 again. You got to pay 75 cents. All right, we good, buddy?
That's the 5.
Keep her moving.
The 5.
The
Go?
5, yes.
Yeah. All right.
One more roll and then we'll go to one break.
Okay, then what? Well, this is a good one. What would you say would constitute the absolute perfect day for Melinda? How would that go, or what would that look like? 11.
Perfect day would be wake up, coffee's already made.
Already made. Okay.
Already made.
You mean not already being put in your hand as you're in bed?
Well, that's good, but that's never really happened.
Okay.
So
Well, that's what I'm saying. The perfect day.
the perfect day would be one where I didn't have to go into work. My husband didn't have to go into work. Chores were done, and we could just go and have fun, like at the lake or the beach, or go hiking, or go to a brewery or winery. My husband, you give him one shot of whiskey, the man goes to sleep.
Oh, so, he's a huge buzzkill.
Yeah, well, when it comes to whiskey, now
Okay.
you could drink. Now, man, give that man vodka, give him wine, give him beer, and he's more stout than most.
Give him something queer, and he's in the clear.
Right, and he's in the clear. But you don't give him whiskey.
Okay.
I found that out
That's
on the
your
very.
game.
Yeah, that's my game. I found that out on the very first dinner party that I hosted with him, and he went straight to bed after dinner.
Oh, wow. Where's your husband?
I was like, I don't know.
He thought this party was lame. He went to bed. Well, that's funny. So don't serve what's your husband's name if you don't mind?
His name is Ken.
So don't serve Ken whiskey.
No, we don't serve Ken whiskey.
Okay.
Unless I want him to go to bed.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Me and the gals are hanging out. Get out of here.
I'm arguing with you. Here, have a Coke. Oh, it's got whiskey in it. That's okay.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Cool. That's a pretty good day then. Just kind of hang out and spend
hang
time
out
with
with
your
friends and family, and
everything's already done and just working smoothly.
Yep.
I think that we could all agree on that one.
Absolutely.
All right.